Hello, this is Real Gary, and this what if is what if Naruto was Madara Uchiha's descendant. Really quick before I get started, this is a relative mic I'm borrowing because forgot to bring my own mic. So if you like this mic's quality better, they're willing to give it to me, so I might start using it to record. Finally, there's some new news about the what if Naruto clan Dojutsu, and thanks to Outline being corrupted on everything, including all my backups, I'm going to have to I'm going to have to redo that, and it's going to be pushed back for a little while until I can get it all straightened out and finished. Now, this what if was a suggestion from Zachary Cokes 1210. Sorry, I'm bad at pronouncing names, and I could not complete the full request. Sorry, and suggestion in no sense because one of the things was never confirmed by the author, so I just use a game ability that I prefer. Okay, so to get this started, this is what we need to know in the what if before I get started. In the what if, Sasuke is actually older by Itachi by 2 years. Itachi's also female in this what if, and the only difference is she's a year younger. Now, in this what if, I'm also using a clan that ironically had the same name as our Nine Tails boy, Kurama's, but I decided to name it the Mara clan because I prefer that name. Its specialty was a unique Kekkei Genkai Genjutsu ability. Finally, Naruto is not the Nine Tails, and he possesses no last name currently, and basically, like Sasuke from the original, to most people, he's actually considered good looking. But he still has a huge amount of chakra, but not as much. So, let's get this what if now started. A young Naruto that has black blonde hair and golden eyes has just taken a beating from the members of the Uchiha clan again, as they punched, kicked, cut him, and done everything they could. Now that they're finished with him, they've thrown him outside of the Uchiha compound, saying, "Get out of here, trash." As Naruto gets up and walks away. As he gets back to a run-down small mansion, entering it to see his grandmother May. As he walks in with all the bruises and cuts, as she's saying this, saying, "It happened again. You'd think the Uchiha would treat their very own excuse me, sorry. To think the Uchiha would treat their very own this way. Not for Itachi, I would think all of them were evil, especially that older brother and father of hers." She just sighs. "I know the Mara clan is your other half of your bloodline, but seriously, those Uchihas are monsters." As she picks up the young Naruto and brings him to the bathroom, getting him cleaned up and patching him up, Naruto thanks her. As he's thinking she's the only other person other than Itachi that treats him like a human being. As he was sleeping, he said someone was there. As he blazed his Sharingan, it was already at the Three Toma state. Since for the past year he had been treated like garbage from the Uchihas, it made him gain the Sharingan through the anger and hatred it caused to him. But I was at the Three Tome state thanks to being trained by Itachi for the past year. As she's seeing who it was, being Itachi, as she's saying, "Remember, never show that off unless you have to." So Naruto nodded his head. She asks, "So Naruto, are you okay?" He nodded his head again, and Itachi walking over to him, pulling him in for a hug, saying, "I'm so sorry for my clan treating you like that. It is insane. Just because you have Mara blood in you, you're treated like this?" And she starts to cry while holding Naruto. He reaches up with his hands while she's hugging him and wiping away her tears. As he asks, "So how's work?" She's saying it's going good. As she breaks the hug, saying, "Okay, now we're going to train you on your Genjutsu since it's needed." As Amara, let's say what you can do with it though. That Kekkei Genkai, making the very Genjutsu that's supposed to be an illusion physically real and truly affects the world around you. Plus, I do not want you to lose control of your mind, since sadly it makes a demon you in your own mind to perform this Kekkei Genkai. Naruto nodded his head, asking her, "So could you at least stay with me until I fall asleep again?" Watching nodding, saying, "Of course I can." As we come to the next day, we see Naruto training with Itachi, as he's using his Genjutsu on a ball. Now he's trying to enlarge the ball, as it's actually getting bigger in the real world. Itachi was watching this carefully, noticing when Naruto started to seem to be zoning out and losing himself, finally telling him to stop. And he does so. And Itachi's saying, you're the strongest in the Uchiha clan when it comes to Genjutsu. You beat us all in that regard. And yet they throw you around and make you come to our compound every once in a while just because my father needed a punching bag. And she punches the nearby wall in anger. Sarja's saying it's okay, as long as you were here, Tachi, my grandmother, I have people that love and care for me. She smiles and hugs her, causing her to blush a bit. She said, so is it time to stop for today? Since I know you got work. She nodded. He responded, okay, I'll head home. But as he's walking home, he noticed a presence as he turned around to see a man in an orange mask right behind him. As he grabbed Naruto and threw him into a secluded alleyway away from everyone. As Naruto blazed the Sharingan once again, weaving hand signs saying Shadow Clone Jutsu, as he made two clones. As the clones then weaved hand signs, as one saying Gale Palm and the other one saying Fireball Jutsu. As one charged forward, pushing the wind through the Gale Palm. As he also tried to strike the attacker down. The attacker quickly dodged it and cut the first clone down. As the fireball went through the gale, gale palm, increasing its size, being even larger. All of a sudden, he just absorbed the fireball as it wasn't there, cutting down the second clone just as fast. Spears behind Naruto with the very kunai he was using. Naruto quickly swinging his own foot around, trying to kick him. As he disappears once again and reappears right next to Naruto on the other side, as he grabs Naruto by the throat, and then he teleports them to the outskirts of the village. He's saying, "No, that's impressive. I've had the three Tomas Sharingan at your age. Personally, I have to ask, what have you gone through to get to this level? And to have that?" Naruto placed him in a genjutsu, as he made him feel as if his insides were afire. So in the real world, he did drop Naruto. As he's saying, it's true, you are part of the Mara clan. And to force you and someone like me into a genjutsu at this level, even though it's weak. As he broke it and laughed maniacally, saying, I knew one of your ancestors, boy. Naruto perked up hearing that, saying cautiously, really? And he responded with a yes, as he pulled something out of his coat, saying, this is for you. And only you have the right to know this. When we are alone, you are allowed to call me Obito. Also, I come with the gifts. As the person pointed at the very item he pulled out, as Naruto realized it was a scroll. As Obito weaved hand signs and even placed blood on it. As a goodbye, if I'm pronouncing that right, and scythe, with many scrolls of various jutsu and knowledge appeared out of the scroll. As he's saying, this is from him. I have more gifts from him, but that will come with time, my friend. As he handed Naruto a new scroll, taught him how to use it and make a blood seal on it. After Naruto asked, why are you doing this specifically? Is Obito saying it was his will that you were given this? Now, you will never show this off to anyone, as he pointed to the scroll. And if you're asked how you learned any of this, you did it on your own. Also, I was never here. So with all of this that I've given you, I hope you can see me as an ally. So when the time comes, I hope you make the right choice, Naruto. As he left, Naruto saying thank you, Mr. Obito, as he waved goodbye to him, with Obito returning to his hideout, with the orange man saying, so have you done what you needed to do? As he responded with yes. I know he will awaken that soon. After all, seeing those eyes, and that power he possesses, Uchiha know nothing of his power, it's clear. He should be treated as their god, especially if what he said becomes true about his Sharingan. And yet he's been thrown to the wolves. But this will help us a lot later down on the line. Don't you agree? As the other man just simply nodded his head. After this, Naruto's getting home to his grandmother. As he enters the home saying, "Hey, I'm home," but she actually came to the door even in her old age, saying, "Oh, it's good to see you. So how was your training with Itachi?" As he simply nodded, saying, "It was very fun as usual." As he ate dinner with her, when he when he was in his room, looking over the scrolls that Obito had given him, he was excited to learn what was in them. He saw one scroll was all about how to increase one's strength, speed, stamina, and chakra. He wanted to do this one especially, since when he tried to lift the goodbye and the scythe earlier, he could not budge them, and he could always need more chakra, as it's a given to any shinobi in this world. So he decides specifically to train in this for now. But then he realized, wait, maybe you should look through the other scrolls to see what's in them. And that's what he does, is he goes through many of the different scrolls, picking ninjutsus he'd like to learn, but realizing some of them he would need to understand his chakra nature and how to manipulate and control, and see if he could even learn some of them. He saw that inside one of the scrolls that was explaining chakra nature, how to manipulate and control it, he sees that there's a paper in there. It's the scroll explaining it's designed to test him to see what chakra natures he has. When he completed it, he actually found out he possessed them all, which made him very happy, because it meant he could learn everything, since there was jutsus for every type of chakra nature. As he planned to find a place when Itachi personally can't train him to learn all this in secret as he was told. He finally placing everything back and getting some sleep. Now, it's been a few days since then, and he's been training his heart out, getting stronger. He's even learned some of those jutsus and actually learned how to manipulate at least two of his chakra natures pretty well at this point. He also started training in the other method, as he's been pushing himself harder and harder to the breaking point each and every day. As he got done, he sensed that Itachi was coming, so he just decided to catch his breath. She butterflied in, saying, "Oh, this is where you were. So are you training alone right now?" Naruto nodding his head. They're saying, "Well, I'm on a break, so let's eat." And she pulls out food in a lunch basket. Naruto's eyes just light up as they ate together. And as soon as Naruto got done, he said, "Okay, I know I said I'd marry you, Itachi, to have this delicious food all to myself, and I still mean it." As he smiles at her, causing Itachi to blush, saying, "Okay," as she then bops his nose, "but you gotta be stronger than me, or I'll not accept a marriage from you." As Naruto laughs, saying, "Now I have a goal to reach, and you better believe it, I will do it." So Naruto yawned and stretched his arms, laying down into her lap, as this caused her whole body to shudder a bit. Started saying, "Sorry, I'm just tired from training, but a little bit of a break at a pretty girl's lap," as this caused her to get bright red. He smiled up to her. But during all of this, Fugaku, who is Sasuke's and Itachi's father, speaking to a bunch of shinobi, is saying, "Get ready to have that boy killed soon, once I get enough people." As we see, Naruto is now walking home again, as he had already thanked Itachi for the lunch and saw her off. So you have a group of kids hitting and throwing stuff at some girl. Seeing this angered Naruto, since he had been through the same thing before, as he throws a rock at the attackers. As they all scream at him, saying, "What's your problem?" Naruto responds, "Stop hurting the girl." They say, "So what? What are you going to do about it?" Naruto weaving hand signs saying Shadow Clone. As they all drew kunai and blitz behind them all, holding him to the throat, saying in complete unison, simply, "I will kill you. How about that?" As they all showed complete sense of fear. As they all just ran away without a second thought. As he charges to the young girl, seeing that she was his age, she had long red hair, blue eyes, and was wearing, oddly enough, an orange T-shirt and a white skirt with shinobi sandals. Naruto said, "Are you alright?" As she was in a blushing state and not even talking for a couple of seconds, which finally caused Naruto to tilt his head, wondering if she just can't talk. And she finally spoke, saying, "Thank you so much." Naruto responded, "You're welcome, but may I know your name before I go?" She said, "My name is Uto Uzumaki." She responded with, "Mine is Naruto." As he helped her up and dusted her off, as he waved goodbye, but before he could leave, she stopped him, asking, "So can we be friends?" So we're saying, "Sure, why not? I'd like that." And she smiles, making Naruto blush a bit, as Itachi was actually watching him to make sure he got home safely. But when she saw all that go down, especially when he was talking to that girl, she was getting really mad. But she didn't know why she was being so mad at him right now. A few days had passed as Naruto was coming back from training again with Itachi, as he heard a very familiar voice calling out to him, saying, "Hey there, Naruto." He's sure to say it was Uto, saying, "Oh, hey there, Uto. What's up?" She came up right and said, "Would you like to eat with me?" So we're saying, Naruto said, "Sure, I would not mind that. Plus, I'm pretty hungry." Say look, now Itachi was watching him from the shadows again, because whenever she meets up with him or trains him, she always tries to make sure he gets home safely, except for that one time when she got pulled away for work. And she was getting even more angrier than before, as her rage was at its boiling point. She even snapped a towel she was standing on. She kept thinking, why is this bothering me so much? I mean, I know he says he wants to marry me, and I see it as a joke because he's a little brother to me, right? But she starts to think about it. As you see Naruto and Uto walk into Ichiraku Ramen, with the old man and his are saying, "Welcome." "Oh, hey there, Uto." "And who's this?" As Naruto bowed, saying, "My name is Naruto. Nice to meet you." They said, "Nice to meet you too. So, what would you two like?" As Uto saying the usual, the Uto special. She smiled really brightly. Or saying, Naruto's shocked, saying, "You got something named after you in this place?" So, old man just saying, "Yes, she does. Her love of ramen is greater than all of the universe." I started saying, "Then pick that too, because I'm kind of interested." So the old man saying, "Alright." As the young ramen girl named Amy bent down to Uto, whispering in her ear, "Hey, your date's pretty hot. Think I can have him?" This caused Uto to get really, really mad, saying, "This is not a date, he's my friend. And no, if you try to take him from me, I'll kick your butt." Amy then laughed it off, saying, "It's alright, I was joking. I have to go get some stuff from the back in the kitchen. So I'll see you two around." She then left as Naruto said, "So, Naruto, what's your last name? I never got it out of you." Naruto saying, "I have no last name. It's my choice to do so." Zuto saying, "Sorry, I didn't mean to bring up such a sensitive topic." Naruto saying, "It's okay. So let me ask you something. Why were they doing that to you?" She's saying, "Everyone calls me a demon and treats me like trash." Naruto got madder and madder as the rage in him was at a boiling point. Even his Sharingan was starting to form a bit in his eyes. But as this was happening, Amy was actually watching from the kitchen, hiding herself just enough where they couldn't notice her. Her dad asked her, "What the heck are you doing?" She's saying, "We need to make sure he's a good boy for our ramen princess." She just sighs, saying, Honestly, that kid seems like a good kid, so she's in good hands in my opinion. And Amy's saying, I'm not too sure. So when Naruto finally just let go of all the anger and calmed himself, saying to her, you're not a demon. You're a beautiful young girl. If those idiots cannot see that, then it's their loss. So know this, I will always be your friend, Uto. This caused Uto to cry as she hugged Naruto. And he patted her head and she cried into his chest as she buried herself deeper. Tammy saying, well, he passed. I think he'd be perfect for her. No problems here as she smiles at her dad, with him just eye rolling at her. But Amy saying we should probably give him a minute. That's when Uto finally finished crying. Naruto helped clean her face, as she's saying, thank you so much for that, Naruto. I really wanted to hear that for all my life already. She smiled. Soon after that, they got their ramen, and Naruto realized why she got it named after her. It was a massive bowl of ramen. He wondered, oh crap, am I going to be able to eat all this? And when they were finally at the end of their meal, it was told it was on the house, just this time. As they left, as Naruto was walking with Uto, some random girls in a group showed up, looking really angry, saying, so, what's a guy like you, Naruto, doing with the demon? Naruto taking one look at them, and seeing that Uto was so upset, he literally just grabbed her, hugged her as close as he could, saying, oh, nothing, really, just on a date with one of the most gorgeous women in the village. I mean, with the looks like that, you must be really jealous of her. So I suggest you get out of here. Then he gave them a death glare while giving them an intense aura he released. So they all run away crying, saying, you idiot. Naruto, not really knowing what's going on, turned and saying, sorry about that. They pissed me off because they insulted you. That's Uto saying, that's okay. It's nice to have someone stand up for me for once. As this was all going down, Itachi was so angry and upset. The only thought was, I should make his training harder tomorrow. So Naruto kindly walked Uto home and got home himself, saying that his grandmother was at a clan meeting. And she wrote a note saying she'd be back later, and she left dinner on the table for him. So he goes to the table and eats dinner very quickly, and goes to his room, doing his strength training and flipping through the jutsus, genjutsus, and other scrolls he has, trying to gain some more knowledge and understanding. They've cut to a clan meet. Naruto's grandmother Mei is fighting with Fugaku. It's not to get Naruto exiled from the village. We're saying he's a Mara and an uchiha. Why are you trying to get rid of him? If you color the match of both his heritage, he could become the greatest Genjutsu user to ever live. And his abilities alone in that regard would be the best and be the greatest asset to the village and the leaf as a whole. As they get further into a heated argument, screaming back and forth about why Naruto should be exiled and why not, the third, finally so fed up with this, said, stop it, I've heard enough. I have to agree with the Mara clan head, May. He's too much an asset to leave. So table this so we can end it. This meeting is even Donzo, which even Shock the Third agreed with him, saying, yes, he's too much an asset to leave. Especially if that thing gets out of control. Fugaku just got angry as he spat it out. A filthy half-blood like him should not be allowed to exist in this world. As he finally shut up and the clan meeting ended, as they're taking the head of the Mara clan away, asking, so how is he, master? She's saying, he's made a friend other than Itachi. That being the young Miss Uto, I think it'd be good for both of them. They have similar backgrounds about how they've been treated over their lives. Zerd nods, and yes, it might help them out of their bubble become better. They're saying, be very careful, my old teacher. I think Fugaku is going to kill Naruto and you soon. So I thought I'd warn you. Saying thank you, Third. I'll make sure he will be alright. After all, as long as Naruto lives, I'm good with that. As we finally cut to the next day, as Naruto is being trained by Itachi, as you notice she's been training him way harder than she normally would. I mean, he has learned so much from her, and it's been nearly 2 years at this point. She actually knows how to use a sword, and she's taught him a good portion of her jutsu. She's wondering why she's being so hard on him today. So you get to the end of their training, and she's breathing heavily on the ground, and is literally about to pass out. She's saying, "Are you done already, Naruto?" With him screaming, "Yes, you've been pushing me too far. So what's up with you today?" She turned her head, saying it was nothing. Naruto saying, "No, there's something wrong," as he got up, catching his own breath, and got as close as he could to her face, making her look at him. She blushed a bit as he saw that she was red. As he touched her forehead, making her get even more redder, saying, "Are you sick? So you're trying to get this done fast? If you're that sick, there's no need to train me. I can train on my own, you know." She said, "That's not in an angry tone," as she swatted his hand away. Naruto asked, "So what is it?" She finally took a deep breath, calming herself. "I saw you with a girl at that ramen place today, Naruto." She she got a little bit red but angry, he could tell in her voice. As he thought about it, then saying, "Oh, you mean Uto?" "With her. There with her because she asked me to. Plus, it's just two friends hanging out. I don't know why you're mad. I mean, friends do that all the time. But if you're mad because I've never eaten anywhere with you, why don't we go somewhere together today?" She's saying, "Okay." She smiles a bit, with a light blush on her face again. Naruto asking, "So where would you like to eat?" She's saying, "Why don't we eat the same place? I've actually never been into that restaurant before." So Naruto's saying, "Okay, we'll go and do that." As when they get there, Amy notices Naruto walking in with another girl as she gives him a death glare. As Amy, as when Naruto sits down, Amy grabs him, pulls him, and whispers in his ear, "You better be just friends." As Naruto slowly shook his head yes, to avoid the very death itself he feared would come if he said no. As they left, he noticed it had started to snow. This made Naruto smile, and even Itachi smiled at this. As she said, "You know, it was snowing like this when I first saw you, and our first meeting at the same time." As we cut back to being a year ago, as Naruto had just been used as Gaku's punching bag that day, as he told him a half-mutt like him did not deserve to live, thanks to the third's interference, is the whole reason why he's alive right now. As he sighed, saying, "That's all I can do." He then told some men nearby to drag him away, as he was dragged outside of the compound and then tossed into the snow, as he was bleeding and pretty much in a near-death state at this point. Tachi had just gotten back with her family from shopping and saw that sight, with her older brother and mother saying, "That's the useless and blood-sucking half-mutt. That's personal punching bag. Don't get involved with him. He's not worth any of our time." So they went home, and Tachi actually helped cook dinner and secretly snuck some of the food. Later that night, she went back to where she stuck the food away and put it into a box. She went outside to see Naruto was still in the snow. She was surprised how strong he was. Most people would be dead by now. She then used what little medical ninjutsu she knew on Naruto, and even picked him up and carried him to a nearby bench. She laid him into her lap, and she does this waiting. A few minutes later, he finally wakes up to see her, saying, "So, the old man sent you to kill me, huh? Are these cute girls doing it?" As this causes Tachi to blush, saying, "No, I'm here to help you." I really hate my clan, to be honest. So Archer just responded with, "Yeah, me too," as he sat himself up, saying, "Thanks for the help. I can tell you healed me," as he checked himself, smiling at that fact. As she blushed a tiny bit, saying, "Here." As he was handed the box of food, Naruto opened it and was so happy just to see food after being in that state for so long. He ate it, wolfed it down without any complaints. But as he got done, saying, "Who cooked this?" As Itachi pointed to herself, Naruto grabbing her hand, saying, "Marry me. I want to have this delicious food all to myself for the rest of my life." She blushed very heavily and was intensely bright red after hearing that, saying, "Thank you for the compliment." As he smiled at her after hearing that, I was saying, "So what's your name?" So responding with, "It's Itachi." He said, "Mine's Naruto. I don't have a last name because honestly I don't feel like I belong to either of my clans. But I but would you like to know my secret? Not even Gaku knows." Itachi said, "What is it?" As he blazed his Sharingan, it being in the one Tomo state, saying, "Thanks to the old man and everything I've been through recently, I awakened it. And I'm going to master it and prove I'm stronger than him and the rest of the Uchihas." Itachi said, "Honestly, I'm his daughter, and I would like to help you." She showed him that she had a 3 Tomo Sharingan. Naruto saying, "You would help me, though he's your old man." She nodded her head, with him responding, "Thanks for that. Sorry. It's a deal." And she shakes her hand. Now they're sitting on the very same bench. Naruto saying, "Thank you to her. I've become stronger, and I will always be eternally grateful for them." As Itachi smiled, saying, "You're welcome." As they just enjoyed the snow as it fell around them. Now it's been a week as Naruto was asked by his grandmother to get some items from the store, as she knew, sadly, this was the last day. As he was walking back, he saw some kids picking on a girl, as he said, "Really, this again?" As he saw that she had dark blue hair and white eyes, so he just decided to help. As he flickered and appeared before the bullies were about to start punching and beating her. Naruto caught one of their punches with his hand, as he dropped the bag and then kicked that one away, sending him flying. So he made hand signs saying, "Shadow Clone Jutsu." He made multiple clones and quickly beat the crap out of the rest of the kids. So he then told them all, "If you want to live, run as fast as you can, little kittens." They ran away screaming. As he looked down at the girl, offering his hand to her, saying, "It's okay, you're safe now." She's taking it meekly, as he said, "Were you that scared? Well, next time this happens, you just come and find me. If it does not work, I promise I will find you." As he smiles, this causes her to blush so heavily that she's so red that Naruto's worried she's sick. As he just shakes it off, saying, "So my name is Naruto, what's your name?" She said in a very quiet tone, but he heard it, "It's Hinata." Naruto said, "That is a very beautiful name like you. Like I go back home." As he grabbed his bag, saying, "So I'll see you around." As he waved goodbye, she was just standing there, saying, "Naruto, huh?" She blushed even harder after saying that. Naruto got home, but he realized something was incredibly wrong thanks to all his training and heightened senses. So without any hesitation, he blazed the shotgun once more. As he walked in the hall, placing the bag down. As he entered the main entrance of the mansion area, seeing that his grandmother had a sword at her neck, and a huge group of what he could tell were Uchihas and very shinobi in the room. There were at least a small army's worth, as one of them with an eye patch, the one with the sword, saying, "See, you got to see each other one last time." As she's saying this, his grandmother May says this, "Before I die, vow to me, Naruto, never blame others with a leaf, to hold in all that hatred, or even to direct it towards them, is bad for you, and you should not let that happen." and never take revenge or vengeance on them or the leaf. This is not the right path for you to follow. For if you follow it, you truly bear that uchiha curse. You are more than that, for you also are Mara, and I will always love you forever. Please, take care of yourself. As she lowered her head, as Naruto was weaving hands and screaming, "Grandmother made a promise," but he was too late. As before he could finish the hand signs, he saw her head sent flying. As this happened, his eyes changed, as the left became what looked to be like a flower pattern. So on the right became a ninja tool. As he remembered this new power, the words on the scroll he once read about the Sharingan. This was the Mogekyo Sharingan, and it only awakens by seeing the death of someone close to you. As he screamed out with all his might, Amaterasu, as the left eye produced black flames. He even was able to bend them into like a sword-like shape, setting the flames flying at a group of uchihas. They were hit by them and they instantly turned to ash. As he bent the flames around the uchihas, as it engulfed even more shinobi, as it burned them to ash as well. So one of the Uchihas, realizing what was going on, quickly attacked Naruto, kicking him through the screen paneling, sending him into the back area. As the remaining shinobi get ready to kill him, Naruto weaving hand signs saying multi-shadow clone jutsu, as he made about 100 of them. As this turned into an all-out brawl, with everything being thrown at each other. As we cut to a group of Naruto clones attacking three shinobi, as one using the Amaterasu, as he burned the man's sword, as he quickly kicked and weaved, as another weaved hand sign saying lightning stream as he struck the ground, shaking them. Then one of the clones used Amaterasu again, as they burned them all alive. While this is happening, Naruto, the real Naruto, realized this was causing his left eye to bleed. Realizing this is a side effect of the jutsu, as he read that it can lead to blindness. As Naruto said, even if I become blind, I will still become the strongest shinobi alive. So I don't care about this. As we cut to more fighting, as clones are attacking, taking swords away from other ninjas, cutting them down left and right. As they're using high level A class jutsu and techniques, Naruto realizes his chakra's being drained. As the real Naruto is attacking two Uchiha shinobis that had their two Tomoe Sharingans. As one of them threw Shuriken saying Shuriken Shadow Clone technique. He made 1,000 of them. So they were set after Naruto. He actually realized he was a bit scared, but he realized his other eye had activated his ability. The ninja troll started to spin backwards. So he realized he rewound in time. So it made it where that guy that just did the jutsu had never done it. It scared him and his partner that was nearby. So after realizing this, used it to his advantage, quickly getting behind him and even breaking both of their necks just with his fist. As he takes a short sword from one of them, he starts to run off. As this is going on, more and more clones and ninjas were killing each other. As the clones poofed away, more ninjas' bodies piled all around him. Naruto was even using the eye's power more and more. As it got to the point where his left eye was almost blind, was almost to a blind state, with his right eye getting there as well. As he was running out of chakra fast. As he was just cutting and burnt everything away, everything that was in his way, leaving it falling down to three men, one being the eye patch, other being an Uchiha, and finally just some normal shinobi. As the normal one waved hand signs saying Shadow Clone Jutsu, two clones himself. As he dashed forward with a pretty insane amount of speed, as he went to cut Naruto's neck, Naruto just turned back time again, sidestepping both the clones and cutting them down. As the man realized what was going on and jumped up, as he went to strike down, Naruto actually spun his right eye forward. Realizing it accelerated time around him, he quickly went under him and dodged the attack, turning around and beheading the shinobi. As it's now down to the last two, so Chia saying he's been using his eyes too much. He's probably about to go blind. He's gonna be out of chakra very soon. So is he, sadly. But he's weaker. So what was the eye patch saying weaker? That kid's strong enough to kill a smaller shinobi by himself. And he knows tons of rank in jutsu techniques and abilities. He's not weak. He's a genius beyond even the fourth capability. And then Chia just want to kill him because he's only a half-blood? Are you allowed to insane? Is Chia saying only a pure blood are allowed to have a Sharingan? He pulled out multiple kunais and he launched them at Naruto. Naruto just simply sidestepped them. Tsuchiya body flaker didn't train to jab him. Naruto grabbed him by the throat, saying Amaterasu, as he burned the man alive. But this caused his left eye to go finally blind, as he realized he had no longer any use for it, and just closed it. This man had the one eye patch, saying, "So you lost one, huh?" And I gotta say, not for giving me such a huge reward for both your deaths after all everyone being dead. I would run away, honestly. But money? Any amount of money that much, it's too good to run away from. So let's just end this as he weaved fan sides saying Shaklon Jutsu. As they all weave together saying Great Fireball Jutsu. Just then, all three of them sent flames at him. As Naruto rewinded the attack as he sent it back to where just before he did it. As then he set time forward as he used it to speed himself up very quickly. As he tried to cut the man down, but before he could, he quickly got behind him and stabbed him in the back with a sword. As he then pinned him down to the ground. Naruto still holding on to the sword, but in complete blinding pain, near chakra exhaustion, nearing death itself at this point. His right eye was almost completely blind. This man saying, if you're just born full of chia, I could see you would have had all the clans respect in their women. Oh boy, trust me on that one. Sadly, you were born a mongrel. And just like that grandmother and mother of yours, you're all mongrels. As Naruto heard this, he just lost it. As all his anger and hatred exploded. As his right spin so fast you couldn't see anything. As it literally froze time itself. As then he, he then used all his remaining strength to get up and pull the sword out of his back. As he held it in both hands. As he then cut the eye patch Shinobi's head off. But by doing this, he now blinded himself. As he laughed, saying, I survived. Stronger than all of you. He just finally collapsed. At this point, Obito finally reappeared, saying, So I'm going to have to give you these as I thought. But that was quite impressive. To have that kind of power, you truly are related to the great Madara. As he takes him into the Kamui dimension. As he actually performs eye surgery on Naruto. As it's been a few as it's been a few days. Oh crap. Sorry. As it's been a few days since they found out that he's been missing and May is dead. As they were trying to find out what had happened. As there were bodies everywhere. But Danzo, Third, and Itachi truly knew what was going on. They decided to try to find Naruto. Now, he's the last Mara. If something happens to him, the Leaf could lose such an amazing asset. Itachi personally was trying not to break down and kill every single one of member of her family. As a man in an orange mask appeared before her, saying, Don't worry, he's okay. As we then cut back to the Kamui dimension, Obito realized Naruto had awakened, saying, Well, welcome back, young one. Sees that this was a success. As he unwraps the bandages over Naruto's eyes, reveals the Sharingan the ones on the thumbnail, saying, This is for you. Naruto saying, How can I see? So Obito said, I gave your ancestor eyes. By doing this, you now possess the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. With this, you will not go blind, and the chakra drain is not as bad. You could say almost non-existent in some cases. Naruto saying, I have that now? Good. So he asked, Where is he? So Obito said, We're in my Kamui dimension. It's my special palace, you could call it. It's been about a week since I brought you here. Naruto freaked out, saying a week. Everyone must be worried about me, especially Itachi. So I told Obito, saying, she knows you're alright, I told her. I will send you back to where she's waiting right now, but first I must tell you this. Once a week I will come and take you here and train you how to use those eyes. And better, and you better learn what I will teach you, alright? Dr. nodding, saying, so I see she's dead, right? So Obito nodded and walked up to him, placing his hand on his back, saying, you have my condolences. I lost someone very close to me, too. So are you ready to go back? As he nodded his head, say we're leaving, he said, remember, I will see you next week. Naruto appeared in the field. He saw Tachi running up and tackling him while crying her eyes out, saying, I am home, okay? With that, this video is done. I am so sorry it is so long, but I hope you guys will enjoy it. This is the real Garing, signing off.